All right, welcome to another edition of Sense8 Symposium. Today I'm joined by a new panel today because, we like switching it up. We have Martine and Tony, and Vindia is getting her audio sorted out. But since you guys have your first time joining us, why don't we go around, tell us a little bit about yourselves and your kind of overall impressions of the show. So why don't we start with you, Martine?
Well, hi. My name is Martin. I'm from Argentina, Buenos Aires. It's a great honor to be speaking with you, and a great pleasure to make this connection. Well, as you see, I have my Riley hair style.
Yeah.
Where's the
I
blue?
love to put Middleton.
Where's the blue?
That's true. Where's the little blue streak?
That I will. That's for the next part.
Yeah, the next one, right? Yeah.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yay, it's on my iPhone.
Great.
It's pretty cool. We're seeing double too on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
I do.
But all right, Tony, go ahead.
There you go.
Hi guys, really great to be here. I'm Tony. I'm from New Zealand, so I'm hoping there's not too much of a delay on the chat. Is there?
No, it doesn't look like it.
No? Okay. Yeah, so, wow, I've seen the show a couple of times. I'm trying to hold off and wait to watch it again. Every time friends walk in, I'm always watching it, so I thought I'd better give it a break. And wait till next year and watch it again. But I really like it. I really connect with a lot of the characters and feel that it's such a diverse show with all the different, I guess, backgrounds and stories in that. So yeah, I'm really drawn to it and really like it.
All right. And all right, how about you, Vindia? Tell us a little bit about yourself and all that good stuff.
I'm Vindy. I'm Tony's neighbor, basically. I'm from Australia, Melbourne. I thank God I was sick one day, and I was watching the show, and yeah, got hooked after that. So, and I met you guys. Yay!
Yay!
Oh,
Yes,
and I'm a
amazing.
junior remelter too, by the way. Yeah, I found out yesterday. So basically, I'm a huge Max Remelt fan.
Oh, you're definitely not alone in that. So that's good. Yeah, I think we're all trying to come up with because Belinda's group has the Smithies and Remelters, and now we're trying to still figure out one for Alito, but that's still kind of the jury's still out on that one.
Yeah.
I suggested the Miguelotes, but we'll see how that works out.
Nice.
But yeah, so today we're going to go in depth into episode 4, What is Going On? And I know some of you already took some notes, so if you want to start us off, feel free to do so.
Oh, what a pressure.
Yeah, I know. It's exciting though, It's
I guess.
I don't know if I could afford it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, I guess the episode starts with like Felix and Wolfgang trying to sell their rocks that they've stolen, I suppose, and I guess that kind of scene and something they said in regards to it going to change their life. I thought, what would people do to actually change their lives? Like,
Yes.
How far would people actually go? These guys have, committed quite a big crime to do it. So I guess my thoughts on that were, what would other people do to change their lives, and how far would they go?
That's a good question, definitely.
yeah, it's really good.
And one of the early quotes that stood out for me in that opening sequence is basically when Felix and Wolfie are talking, and Felix says, "It's obedience, not resistance, that kind of is the fabric of the whole, thing." So it's like, it feels like they're on the cusp of, like, they're still emboldened by their latest score, that now they're sort of setting their sights on bigger picture things, but at the same time they're still kind of not sure how to go about that, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
There was a very interesting part that I didn't quite understand was when Wolfgang says that, "Oh, I was listening." That's what your mother would do. So
Yeah.
can someone explain that
Oh,
to
yeah.
me?
What did you guys think?
I mean, I guess Wolfgang's quite sneaky. Like, he listens to everything that people say, and he really takes it in, and he's quite deep. And for me, I think in the very beginning, when the guy was talking about the Holocaust and his mother and that type of thing, I think that was a way for Wolfgang to connect with him and kind of make him do what he wanted him to do by taking half of the diamonds.
Mm-hmm. Kind of,
Yeah.
I guess my impression of how I took it was, because I think, well, Abraham was saying something about his mom had to go through all the stuff she had to go through, and she kind of took a big risk by, you know, doing all
Marrying
the
someone
things she
else.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so in that sense, that's how I took it. Is like your mom would be somebody who would take that risk and
Yeah.
jump and take the plunge if the opportunity presented itself. So I think that's how I read it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so interesting in that scene. I was like going, what if this is like, paving the path for what's going to happen with Carla and Wolfgang? Because she is
Yeah,
getting married. So, yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
There's all those little connections in it that we, even in this episode, there's several later that we'll talk about. But yeah, I mean, just watching it back even a third, fourth, fifth time, there's still so many things you can pick up that it's pretty much,
Yeah.
it's mind-boggling, you know.
Too much information to analyze.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then this is, of course, the first time we kind of get an idea of, there's that connection between Berlin and Mumbai as far as the diamonds being from Mumbai.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good connection. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like the webs are starting to weave themselves, you know. Yeah. And then also, when they finally get to the library, one of my favorite lines from Abraham is where he says, "Without the past, there would be nothing to think about, let alone someone to think it."
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And even Felix is like, "Whoa, deep."
Shoes.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then the
shoes.
shoes, yeah.
I would like to add something about Felix.
Sure.
That the show shows the materialistic side of human race value, as he wants to buy expensive shoes and have dinner like kings. It's like
Yeah, definitely. That was a very interesting point there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think too that just speaks to how excited they are about having that score, because pretty much, I mean, they seem to be doing well enough, and they have that key shop and all that kind of thing, but at the same time, they have never really experienced that quote unquote high life, you know. So when he was like, okay, just for one night, I don't want to be Felix, I want to be, you know, this guy or that guy, and I thought that was cool. And then just the way that they put the humor into it too is like, oh yes, I'll have that bottle of wine, and he's like, is it the most expensive wine? Well, yes, I'll have it. You know, yeah. So just stuff like that. How they're able to put the humor into even a somewhat serious situation.
Did someone go to Felix going, Felix, do not get the sparkly shoes?
Except that he went ahead and I think he probably bought out the entire store.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting point as well, because it shows Wolfgang's character as well, because like Felix was like so excited, he wanted to have the most expensive one and go shoe shopping. Yet Wolfgang tries on this pair of shoes and he goes, I like it. Just he was very calm and collected even though they scored big. It just shows a little bit of insight into his character going, even, money doesn't change him. He doesn't care so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also in that sense, I just feel like his character is a little bit more cautious. Like, whereas Felix just wants to blow everything and be like, party. Wolfgang's like looking over his shoulder like the Steiner's going to come looking for us pretty soon. We might as well keep it on the down low here, let's not go too crazy. But it's interesting how the dynamic of the two of them work that way, because Wolfie can get pretty dark and then Felix can kind of light up the mood a little bit, but then sometimes if Felix goes a little too off, Wolfgang kind of has to pull him back in and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, he's a little crazy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
They represent the brothers' relationship. It's like a brothers' relationship, apart from that they are not blood of the same blood, no?
Yeah.
There's a phrase in one part of the show about that.
It was in the hospital, Martin.
Not by something as accidental as blood, but by something much stronger, by choice.
That's
right. Choice. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
He says it to Carla. Yeah.
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 At that point, Carla just fell in love.
Yeah. like a sad man weeping over his friend, and then putting some wisdom and philosophy into it. It's like, okay, that's it. Stick a fork in it. It's done. We're moving on to the next thing. Next level.
Yeah. I thought it was funny when they were trying on the shoes. When Wolfgang was trying on the shoes, and that was kind of the first little crossover bit in the episode with the muddy foot in the shoe, to relate back to obviously Capheus walking through the mud.
And then he
that was
go ahead.
That in the restaurant when he was sitting and he looks down in his arm and he's like Naomi.
With Naomi,
cuffed down,
Yeah, I mean, definitely we can start to see a lot of the more sharing kind of manifested themselves, like not fully, but enough to where it's noticeable,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make them think, oh, am I going crazy, or is this really happening?
This episode was really quite interesting because I think this is where we sort of get a bit more understanding of about the clusters, because Jonas explains to. Sorry, I'm going off track now. Can I go off track?
Yeah, there's no rules here. It's free flowing.
So Jonas explains to Will going, cluster. So you can visit clusters. So if you're a sensei, any sensei could visit anyone else, but you can only share your skills within your own cluster.
Yes.
And I thought that was very interesting because Jonas visits Will and everything, but they cannot share skills. And there's interesting situation when Capheus meets Riley in London, and Capheus is talking in his native language, and I don't know if you guys noticed, Riley says, "I don't understand." So it just made me question going, hold on a second. When Capheus was visiting Sun, they could understand each other. When Will was able to speak in Korean, when Lido met Sun, they were able to understand each other. So why didn't Riley fully understand? Then it made me question about the new cluster that's coming in. And I thought, what if Riley doesn't fully belong in our cluster? That's why we don't know her skill.
That's actually, okay.
Because if you look at the back of her neck, she has a number 8. So what if she is like, sort of, her skill is she can she can get the aid of other clusters, and yet she's the exclusive part joining these two clusters together. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. You know, so
cluster
that's a skill.
binder, like a mediator almost.
Yeah, and because like when she was stuck in the attic with the bad guys, Will came to her rescue, but has she ever gone and rescued anyone else?
No.
No, but she's
really.
visited with other people.
She's visited other people because any sensei can go and visit.
Yeah.
But unless you're within a cluster, then you can't share skills, right? So she was able to obtain Will's skill to get her out of the situation, but we kind of don't know her skill, except if you want to call resilience a skill, I guess you can. But what if she's the binding thing between the existing cluster and the new cluster that's going to come in season 2?
That could definitely be possible. That's actually a really good theory. I'm pretty sure we'll be talking a lot more about that in the next couple of months. Because I mean, definitely one of the first topics I remember from way back when was, what does Riley do?
Yeah, that's right.
She's a
Yeah.
DJ.
You
She's
know?
an awesome DJ.
Yeah. It's like if you need a DJ battle, call her. But other than that, so yeah, it's been like even now, like several months later, it's still kind of an ongoing debate, and you have from both sides of people are not entirely convinced of the other, so it's definitely still ongoing.
Heck, I even read articles that question Wolfgang's skills, and I'm like going, what more do you want? He's like the ultimate bad boy.
Yeah,
So.
he has a rocket launcher. Come on. It takes a skill to even get that. Like, remember Lito opened the car? It's like, what the fuck is that, man?
I guess it's my impression with Riley is that, and what I've seen a lot on a lot of the forums and stuff, is that she's obviously the mother of the group, and she's like Angel. Like she's the one that will, you know, she has that nurturing and like Angel, and will birth the next cluster. That's and perhaps that's where season 2 might go. You know, they need to make a new cluster because of Will being you know, not being able to be coherent with whispers. So,
he's too busy being
you
jumped
never know. She might birth the next cluster. So I thought that was
that's
quite
a very interesting point, Tony.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a very interesting one, Tony, that you just mentioned. Going, is she going to put the new cluster? What if the new cluster is already people we know, but we don't know if they're part of the cluster? Like Rajan, it'll be funny if Rajan's a cluster.
Yeah, or if they, like you said, like we know them, they just haven't been officially reborn as sensates. They might have the capacity to be, but not just haven't done it yet, I guess.
Yeah, what if Whisper creates the new cluster? Like, you know, he has the technology, so he's like kind of too many questions.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You want to weigh in, Martin?
I'm a little bit silent.
That's all right.
Martin, you're probably wishing you were part of the new cluster, right?
I wish.
Who wouldn't?
What would be your skills, guys?
I'm dreaming with that.
Well, unless if you need an article written, writing is what I do. But
you are really great. You're.
I'm a bit like Wolfgang, so yeah. I'm happy to put my boxing skills to the test.
Yes, actually, that's a useful skill. So you never know when that could come in handy.
So you're saying you're a badass then?
I don't know. It depends who you ask.
And I guess it depends who you're boxing against.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you could take whispers in hand-to-hand combat, though. I think you can do it.
I'll probably throw the first punch and I'll be like, "Sir Wolfgang, son, can you come to the rescue, guys? I need backup."
Or you know, you might find a couple of pots and just do a little bit of that.
I love that scene.
Not the
I
face!
absolutely love
Not
that
the face!
Not the face.
Oh, jeez. And I was like, the poor pots. But, oh well.
And then, so what did you guys think? Because this is also the first episode that we are introduced to Silas Kabaka. What did you think of that whole sequence when they stopped the bus and we like, we want Van Damme?
Well, I thought it was pretty scary at first. I was like, what's happening? Is he going to be okay? And I thought it was quite, like you were very apprehensive as to what was going to happen, and is he going to be all right? Is he going to get beaten up? Is he going to, what is it? And I think it was a bit of a twist, how when he went in and Silas is obviously like, you're the one that you've made my men loyal to me again. Basically, they do now know that they need me. I thought that was quite interesting, and quite scary. It's quite scary to start because you don't know who this big gangster is, I suppose. And but as Jenna said, Van Damme always comes back.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the part of when he threatens Coffeus, saying that his mother was sick and needs medicine, it gave me some chills because it felt like our lives are continually monitored by the system, and at some point we are not free at all, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And they made great emphasis to denounce through the character stories these life aberrations, to tell what happens with AIDS in this case. Yeah, and
I think he was lost as soon as he brought up the mum's drugs, because we know that Capheus would do anything for his mum. Yeah. So that was kind of the nail in his coffin, so to speak. He was in from then.
And Kabaka knew that going in even before.
That's right.
That. So it's like he already had the edge,
Yeah, that's right.
And it's interesting too because when I had talked to Amel last month, I think it was, he was saying that he'd like to see what would happen to Capheus's character if his mother was no longer there. Like, where would he go?
Oh my God!
How would he react? And I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm thinking we might see that. I mean, I'm jumping a little bit ahead here, but we can do that. It's our show, so deal with it. But just how it ended with Kabaka being basically indebted to Capheus for his massacre of the superpower, and it'll be interesting to see where his character goes, because he could be like a second or first in command of whatever that organization is, and possibly. If his mom doesn't survive, I feel like he'll go. He could have the potential to go dark, like a la Wolfgang a little bit. So that'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
God, that would be a very, very emotional episode, wouldn't it? If his mum did pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's like the sunshine of the cluster, like going, today it's gonna be a great day and all that. I was like going, oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real bummer if that light ever goes out.
Yeah, true. And if you guys started noticing all the 8 references, like even Caffey's friend was holding a number 8 on his hand. I was like going, oh my God, my friend was right. There's like 8 everywhere.
Yeah.
Only recently I found out my house number is 8. As stupid as that sounds.
Well, it's relevant in this context for sure.
I
know. And then here's also where we see the first inclination of what's going on with Sun's father's company and the whole debacle that Junki put them all in. And one of the interesting things that I noted when Sun first goes to confront her father before they bring Junki in, she says that he was specifically devaluing pharmaceutical stock. And there, there
Link to
again is
color.
another link, yeah, between the watered down drugs in Nairobi to the actual pharmaceutical stock in Seoul. So I mean, that's definitely it's one of those things too where I didn't notice the first viewing or even the second, but like now that I'm actually watching it and taking notes, I'm like, whoa, I actually can pick some stuff up, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those shows like where you keep watching it and you always notice something new. Like I couldn't help but notice I think they were saying about my mind just went blank. I'll get back to you guys.
All right.
It's about the drug situation. I think Nomi's mom was saying that. Oh yeah, that's right. Nomi's mom was saying that. Oh, you know, Michael's taking all these drugs and all these, and some of them are not meant to be taken, kind of thing.
All the hormones and all that.
Yeah. Like she was saying that. I don't know if that's a link as well because she goes to Will on the phone going, oh, she's taking all these things that are not good for her. So I'm like going, what if Naomi took some of those drugs by accident? Who knows?
Yeah. And what is your? I think this is a little bit. I don't know if it was last week's or whatever, but what is your take on Danny's father importing and exporting?
Oh, everything illegal I could think of.
No.
He's definitely not, you know, importing, exporting toys or something like
stuffed
bears. That's for sure.
Well, if they're stuffed bears, they're stuffed with something else.
Oh yeah. Good point.
No, Timmy, don't rip the stuffing.
Oh dear. It definitely, this show like is one of those shows that it's got a good balance of everything, you know, action, comedy, drama, you know, just it's really good that way. Makes you want to watch it again and again.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced anything where like the whole spectrum is accounted for. Like it's either one or two things at the most, but never like this type of scale, including this many things, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Heck, I joined Twitter just for the show.
I was only selectively on it too, but then after this show, I'm on it a lot more in general with social media.
Yeah, like I did my first tweet, and then I was like, okay, I'm on Twitter. What the heck do I do? And then I found out through Facebook that you guys were Sense8 International Fans was doing Twitter as well. I'm like, okay, you know what? Because of this whole Twitter party thing, I joined, and it just escalated from there. So yeah. So, now my poor friends have to deal with it.
Oh, that's fine. You'll either convert them or.
Oh, we lost you. We lost you.
Wait, who got lost?
Oh, you froze there for a minute.
Oh no. Yeah, oh no, I was lost.
Yeah, you were lost.
Well, what was I saying? Basically, you can either probably convert them or they'll get used to it eventually. To watching.
Oh, my friend is definitely used to me talking about it at work to a point that he's like, you know what, you talk about it so much, I'm not going to watch this show now. I was like, no.
No, but I think he secretly means he is going to watch it. Because,
yeah, I even threw a party.
In my case, I'm.
One more time?
Now that I'm influencing all my friends to watch it.
How is that
going? I want to add more and more people.
How's that working out?
It's going.
We should share some tips then.
I think it changed my life. I think it changed my life. It was a before and after, and the connection with people, especially, it's magical for me. incredible.
That's good.
Well, being here with you.
True. Yeah.
No, it's like you
I think
stop and think, this is really happening, and wow, I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like you can talk about the show, but unless people give it a go and are open-minded and watch it, then they start to realize, going, hey, this is really good. Yeah, that's how I
that's
found
right.
it. I said to my friend, going, you know what, I will watch Daredevil if you watch Sense8. And he was like, okay, sounds like a good deal. So I watched Daredevil, and now he's watching Sense8, and I reckon he's going to fall in love with it. Just that little, negotiation deals
Yeah.
is working out okay.
Yeah.
And between the two, Daredevil and this show, not a bad pool to choose from either.
Yeah.
No, trust me, I pick Sense8. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys, if there's any
sure.
Daredevil fans.
Yeah.
And I've learned never ever to start off by showing episode number 5, Demons. Was it episode 5? Or episode 6?
6, I think, because I remember episode 6.
Six, yeah.
Makes
Right.
sense. Yeah, so I actually tried to convert a friend by telling her to watch that demon scene, so to just immune her, and it kind of put her off completely. She couldn't last 30 seconds without going, no, indeed no.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those things where you have to build up to understand the characters before that.
Right.
If you just go all in with that, and that's your first introduction, be like, whoa, just like mind blown, and you can't repair it.
Yeah.
I know.
You need to understand.
Definitely blown out.
Yeah. You need to understand why they're there and how it's happening and what emotions they have with it as well, because it is more about the emotional side too for them than the physical. But
yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be another one of those with the new cluster.
I think it's like a rite of passage. I think every new cluster has to engage to some extent. At least 4 out of the 8, or whatever number they have. At least half.
Yeah. And I don't know if this has been discussed before. The number 8. It's very interesting.
The infinite.
Infinite, and it's very interesting how they picked it out. I don't know whether it was by fluke or intentionally too.
I don't think nothing in this series is intentional.
No.
Yeah. Nothing is.
Yeah.
Hey, going back to Sun and the like her discussion with her dad and I guess when they brought the brother in and that sort of thing. How did everyone feel about her taking the blame for, or potentially going to take the blame for what her brother did? I mean, she seems so, in her family, she's so invisible. Her mum was the one that gave her a place in the family, I guess, and now out of pure loyalty to her mother and what she said to her mother, she's now willing to do this thing for her brother and for her family and that. How does everyone feel about that?
Go ahead, Mark.
In my point of view, at some point it reflects the sexist society we live in, I think.
Yeah.
And it's impeccable how they use the resources of flashbacks to link the present with the past, and which indeed refers to the important moments of their lives, which affects their present. The promise Sun made with her mother will reflect the decision in the present, which she took with her brother and her father.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it also ties into their system of honor, because her last thing was, if I don't do this, my last words would have been a lie.
That's right.
And for some people, they could probably just overlook that, because then they'll be like, well, do I want to lie or do I want to go to prison? Or and when you weigh that back, depending on what part of the world you're in, I could see a lot of people saying, no, I don't want to go to jail, call me a liar. But we see that in this society that they're particularly in, where that honor is still very highly valued, and so it makes sense for her in that context to do what she did.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It was pretty sad though. Like it was pretty a horrible situation to be in. I think. I think you're so right though. Even like so many people would have said that it's not worth it going to jail.
I think it was even more horrible when Jin Q, was it Jin Q, killed his own father. I was like, oh my god.
I actually kind of expected that though. That one didn't surprise me too much.
Yeah.
Because
I think when I rewatched it, I was like going, oh, this guy's a jerk. Why was I surprised? But then again, this whole show is taking me off guard sometimes.
I mean, just from watching his first scenes, I was like, okay, this guy is definitely psychopathic or narcissistic or something. There's definitely something off. You know, and then the father like echoes that, where he's like, you know, you've never thought about anyone but yourself because it's my fault that I spoiled you and whatnot. So I can definitely see how that works. But see, one of the again, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but one of the creepiest things for me was that when he goes to visit son in jail, and first when he comes back, he's like, oh, father, he's like, oh, let's hug it out or whatever. But then as soon as son is like, you killed our father, you could just see that look go all over his face. Like he goes it's like all of a sudden he's like cold-blooded, I'm gonna, you know, destroy you. At like the snap of a finger and a drop of a hat, you know. And then I was like, okay, damn.
That
and
was
then
really
he starts punching
that's right.
He had any redeeming qualities, he certainly doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
And then one of the things too was when she's going into the club to retrieve him, we get that sequence with Sun and Will, going to the club, you know.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that whole sequence. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And then capping it off with, I didn't know you speak Korean, Will.
Yeah. I thought the look on Will's face when he's walking down that corridor, and you know he turns around and fights the guy with the gun to the back of his head, and then the person he's walking behind turns around and goes, "Are you all right?"
Okay? Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, and he's looking around like, what just happened? But the look on his face is just so cute. So cute and just so in shock. It was just funny, very funny.
He's had too many of those cute moments. I reckon it's just like, please stop.
Yeah. It's so true.
And then
Lito and Will meeting each other and he goes, "Do I know you?" That was too good. That was too good.
Oh, hey,
No,
let's not. Yeah, that did not happen.
We're on a clock here, fellas.
Yeah.
But and then also it's the first time that Will and Jonas actually connect. In I guess in a meaningful way at any length of time. What did you guys think? What was your first take on that whole sequence? Because that was the first time we really saw the depth of what a connection could be like.
I think when you first saw him, when he's standing in front of that window, and he first saw him, and Jonas puts his hand out, and Will reaches over, and they touch hands, and the look on Will's face is like, you're actually here, but you're not here. Like, I can feel you, but you're actually not standing here. I thought that was kind of one of a moment for me where I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then obviously Will then visits him in his cell and can feel the wall, and he's saying, it's cold, like I can feel that it's cold, but I'm not really here. And Jonas is like, that's because I can feel it. That's why you can feel it. And that's when we really started to get a really in-depth look, I guess, at all these little Easter eggs they were leaving us for actually what they can do and how they can feel with each other, even if they're not in the same cluster. I thought that was, and I really liked how we got a better picture, I guess, of what was going on with Jonas explaining things a bit better.
Yeah, definitely agree there. Like, there was the car scene when Jonas and Will at the convenience store. So that just threw, some of us, they threw me off. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And yeah, definitely that scene kind of provided a bit more context. And then there's another scene again with Jonas and Will at was it a museum? I can't remember.
Yeah,
he provides, trying to, piece all the puzzles together for Will, and I'm just left going, I need to watch this again and again because this is this is like National Geography Channel right here.
Too much information to process.
I know.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting how Jonas chose Will as the one that he explained everything to begin with, because at the end of the scene, Will's so much more in tune with what's happening and knows what's going on than any of the other people in the cluster.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Finish your point.
No, you go. I'm finished.
I was just gonna say, I think Jonas definitely did that on purpose because I'm pretty sure either he felt it or somehow he was aware of like Will's protector complex, and so he knew that by saying, you gotta get to know me, Marks, otherwise one of your cluster will be destroyed. I think he knew inherently that if he had told that to anyone else, they might have done something, but it was Will who would have gone like all the way to make sure that didn't happen because of his I guess his empathy and his aversion or his what word am I looking for? Just the way that he has the desire to protect everybody. So I think in that sense it fit,
Yeah. Like he's a cop, so
yeah.
That's a very. It just got me thinking what you just said, Evan.
That's good. That's discussion.
No, it is interesting because he went to Will and he said, one of your clusters is going to be dying or whatever. So, can Jonas see into the future? Can Jonas see into the future?
I think because Jonas connected with Nomi, that's why too. I think so.
Yeah, because it just makes me curious. Because what if Jonas could see into the future, and that's why he mentioned to Will going, "You got to go and rescue Nomi, or else one of your cluster stuff." So what if he's trying to say, "Hey, you need to save Nomi in order to save Riley"? But you know what I mean? Like, what if Jonas can see into the future? Like, that would be quite interesting. Because if it wasn't for Nomi, I don't think they would be able to save Riley so much. And, yeah, Riley could be in the central of all this, for all we know. Yeah. Just thinking out loud.
But that would be a killer ability to bring to a cluster. I mean, come on, I can see into the future. What can you do? But definitely.
Yeah, someone actually mentioned in Twitter as well, going, what if they're going to dwell into the past, and try and provide us with a bit of context about Whispers, Jonas, Angelica, and Yese, was it? Because Yesa. So I'm just like, because I don't fully trust Yesa, to be honest.
Oh, I don't trust her
at all. She's dodgy. And I was like, I keep tweeting going, guys, there's a picture of freaking Whispers in our house. I wouldn't trust that. But so I would like to see, and it'll be so interesting if Jonas turns out to be bad and he's part of the bad cluster. Is the next cluster bad even?
I'd like to see that as well, because I mean, they dropped the hints too. With Will being a cop, when he's talking to Jonas, he's like,
Oh, you froze again.
Oh no.
It's like, and all he said is, "You're a good cop, Will."
Yeah.
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 I thought it
Yeah,
was. I
that's
thought it was.
interesting.
I thought it was interesting how Jonas was saying that you can't, with the visiting and the sharing, and that you can't. It's not like calling or texting. Like you can't
Yeah.
make it happen. It's a because he's sitting there trying to make it happen. He's trying to
Like,
see Jonas, but you can't. It's just a yeah. It's just a feeling. It's just something that they have to let happen, not force happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was
Oh,
interesting as well.
was it after this scene is when Will rings Riley? Like, you know, they do the phone thingy?
That wasn't in this episode.
No,
It
it
was
wasn't in this
after.
one.
No, it was after, right?
I think maybe in might be episode 5.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. There's another thing going. Could Jonas predict, see into the future to know that Will was going to do that with Riley?
Mm.
You know, going, this is not texting, guys. You can't ring each other. You know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Kathy's ringing, going, "Hey, son, I need you right now, Korean Van Damme."
Van Damme, yeah.
Yeah.
Spirit of Jean-Claude Korean woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And
That's take you to a whole new level.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I also think that with Will or Jonas saying to Will that you have to save Nomi, and he's like, in saving Nomi, you're saving yourself as well, because he's trying to let them know that you are one person. You're not just. And he even said to him, "I think you're not just you anymore."
Yeah. That's where we first hear the quote. Yeah. You're no longer just you.
Yeah, that's right. And I think Will was the only one really too that could save Nomi because of the cuffs, unpicking of the cuffs on the table, which referred back to episode 2, I think it was, when you saw him in the back of a car undoing his the police car undoing his cuffs, which I thought was quite funny. How it you saw him able to do that then, and now all of a sudden it's a skill that he needs, to save Nomi. And apart from maybe Wolfgang, he's probably the only one that could actually do that. So
yeah.
It's
Well,
incredible
now
how
he's
they.
like gone. Oh, sorry,
No,
Martin.
that
I was
it's
going to
incredible
say
how they
that
make
now.
the.
All right. Go ahead, Martin.
everyone's excited.
Yeah.
No, it's incredible how they make the relationship between the past and the present. And it reminded me to the movie Slumdog Millionaire, when he was answering the questions and he reminds to his past and the things that he experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I know for me, as soon as I saw him picking the handcuffs early on in the back of his dad's squad car, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna come in handy later.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Oh dear.
And then, of course, after Sun drags her brother out of the quote-unquote club, there's that whole. What did you guys think about that whole speech? That whole scene actually, as it was happening.
When they're in the club or after?
No, when they're in the dad's house and then Junki gets his little drink and he's like, "Shut the hell up! Do you realize what you've done?"
Yeah. It was pretty. I mean, it was pretty intense, and the way that the brothers saying, "Well, you taught me how to break the rules," and the dad's like, "No, I taught you how to bend them. I didn't teach you how to break them."
Yeah.
And I don't know. Did the dad know what was going on the whole time? Like,
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that, or he
Yeah.
just didn't know the full extent. Plus, he was probably in denial because of his golden child.
Yeah,
You know.
that's right.
But I mean, I'd say about a quarter way through the scene, I was just like, "Oh crap! They're gonna make Sun take the fall for
Yeah.
this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just feel that
Right.
energy in the room, you know.
Yeah, and it was kind of sad when she goes, no one knows who I am, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that was also hinted at the start when the guy makes a very, very crude comment to her, because he didn't want to talk to her about a business deal, and yeah, so yeah.
That was one of the
Yeah.
comments where I would have wanted to just punch him in the face right there.
Yeah. Well, she did. She did too, didn't she? Because her hand went like
Yeah.
really
It was
tight.
clenching. She was about ready for it. It's like women don't close things; they open them.
things.
Yeah.
It's like, how about I open my palm to your face? You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what? Now that like Will is all drugged up, who's gonna do all the shooting and the picking locks and whatnot?
I think that's probably gonna have to fall to Wolfgang by default.
Wolfgang.
It's like he's probably like, if I can crack an S&D safe, I can pick a lock.
Yeah.
Sure. Actually, that's a very good, Evan. That's an interesting comment that you just made, because him and Felix does work for a locksmith.
Keymaker,
Yeah.
Exactly. So hopefully, once Felix pulls through, he can make some keys.
He needs to pull through. He needs to pull through.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I guess the climactic moment of this episode is the whole hospital escape.
Yeah.
That was pretty intense, I have to say.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, 1 second, guys, my phone is dying. I'm just gonna get charger.
Oh, no worries.
And the bar, she was walking, and she's like, "Oh, they are going to catch me!" And then the Amanita appears with the and she sits down.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, right. It's like they must have really planned this.
Yeah.
Really.
Not only.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was when Will's lying there and you're like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and he's leaning down to grab the, to unpick the lock, the needle from his arm to unpick the lock, and you're just, the whole time, even when Nomi's kind of getting up off the bed once he unpicks everything and she's stumbling towards the door, I'm yelling at the TV going, hurry up, hurry up!
Yeah.
Walk faster!
Meanwhile, she's like drugged out of her mind too.
Yeah.
So it's like The Walking Dead trying to get out of the hospital.
And it was like Will was hiding her with her mind, with his mind.
Yeah.
Because she was like.
She was really out of it.
Yeah.
Like a zombie, more.
It was definitely a good scene, got your heart pumping.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And with the knowledge that the brain was still intact, that's always a plus.
Yeah.
The precious brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, the look on Will's face and when he realizes what he's just done and he wakes up and he's like, what just happened?
Yeah. That was
like,
cool.
Oh my God, what just happened?
Yeah, it's almost like he was like, I want to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny.
He did a good job.
Yeah. And of course,
The karaoke scene.
Yeah, we can't talk about this
Yay.
episode without talking about
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But quickly
Absolutely.
before we get
the
one thing
most
I did.
important part.
Yeah, right. But one thing I did notice last night as I was taking notes, you know, the classic Wolfgang fuck you" bit was also, I think when I was watching it back, that actually ties into Sun as well, because she's basically beating the shit out of the punching bag as Wolfgang's also saying that. So I think it kind of bridged that rage for both of them in that sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, he's speaking up.
Yeah. Wolfgang's dad's such a wanker in that scene. I couldn't believe it. It's just like, what? Be supportive.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was so angry for him.
And it wasn't even one of those like snickers. It was like a full-on belly laugh of shame.
Yeah. Yes. Poor baby Wolfgang.
Yeah. But it's funny too, because I'm pretty sure now that song has pretty much been downloaded by everyone who's watched the show, at least. And
I'm embarrassed to say this, but I've never heard of that song before till the show. And my friends were like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" I'm like, "No, guys, I'm dead serious, and I've never heard of this song." And I was like crawling into a corner. I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know this song. I feel so left out."
But I think it also does give us like the first scene where all 8 are connected.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the song went for a long time because I don't know if anyone noticed, but Carla was on the rooftop with Wolfgang singing it, and it was dark, and then before I know it, she's in a room and there's like daylight. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. It's like, how long
what
was
happened?
this? Yeah. Some kind of Sense8 time warp. Yeah.
If I was Carla, I wouldn't complain because that's just more of Wolfgang. So I'm just like, oh, awesome. Keep singing. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that was a really nice moment with all of them. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing that I've ever seen before done anywhere. So, I mean, I'm definitely like a big music geek as well. So just that they were able to pull that all off, I was like, yes.
And it just fits the scene so perfectly, like, you know, like with what Naomi was going through, and you know, and it was so funny. Avenida goes, "Yeah, it's the perfect song for being in love."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they go to reverse, yeah, I was like, God, jeez. Yeah, no, it was just a really good song, perfect for the scene. Yeah.
I found it funny how Leto, like, he's lying in bed with, like, the 3 of them are lying in bed there, and the line that he kind of said was, "What's going on?" Like, he's lying in to other people, and I thought that was quite a good section of the song for him to have.
Like, what happened to my sacred space?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a gill in it. There's a gill in it.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. And Riley too, like what she was going through, with the whole. I think that was after the scene where, you know, the killing happened.
Yeah, that was after she had dumped the cash in the stash, and she was.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting too. But yeah, I can't wait to go and see that place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put them all on the list, you know, and make like a Sense8 travel itinerary.
Yeah.
I actually I do. I'm like going, I need to go to these Sense8 places when I'm in London. I have to. I don't care
Oh,
about
yeah.
Tower London, anything else. I'm going to these places.
Yeah.
I mapped it out. I mapped it out too.
Me too, me too.
Nice, nice.
One thing I did find when they're doing and I know you've actually seen it before, but what did everyone think of Sun's shower? I mean, it's like right in the middle of the house, fully open to everything. I thought it was
A very
hilarious.
strange house, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No curtains that I could see.
Yeah. No, I think there wasn't even any walls on the shower.
You don't have any privacy there.
Yeah.
No.
It's like
And she's just
Wolfgang
going for
made
it.
a comment. Yeah, Wolfgang goes, Germans are fine with nudity. Maybe Koreans are, for all we know. Can we get that confirmed? Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Oh dear.
But it's a pretty cool house though. Nice rooftop with the box
Yeah.
back, yeah.
That part's cool. I could dig
Yeah.
that.
A lot of light, yeah.
And this was like the second time that Wolfgang and Carla really connected as well, I think. Because obviously from memory, there was the bit in the restaurant, and this was the bit where they actually were, quite close to each other, and I thought it was a really cool scene. And look on Wolfgang's face, and just you could see that he really connected with her, and got his head tilted to the side, and he's singing the song, and he's got this cute little grin on his face, and she's like walking up all shy, and I think it was a really nice scene and a really nice connection between them.
I think at that scene, most of us girls who were watching it were like, come on, just get together.
Yeah.
Kiss, 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 kiss.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah, they
Thank
almost
you.
kissed, and they didn't.
Not till much later, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
right.
It's like a typical Bollywood movie. For 3 hours, they'll keep dragging on until finally they're together in the end, or one of them dies or whatever. So,
Yeah.
So that's what's happening with Wolfgang and Carla right now. A Bollywood movie.
Yeah, Bollywood movie with bombs.
Yeah. And orgies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes, true. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but it was such a shame, like, oh no, that was episode 5. It's such a shame all 8 of them didn't participate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that just means they left the door open for a future participation.
Oh dear. Yeah.
But I definitely think that what's going on made the episode. It was. I mean, I think it's a scene that's just stuck with most people that have watched it. You know, if you think about the show, that's one of the scenes, obviously, that everyone, I think, really connected with and that they'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder what it's done for 4 non-blondes, single sales. Far out.
They're probably looking at iTunes going, what the hell?
Yeah.
What's happening here?
Why do we have this much money in our account? It wasn't here yesterday.
What's happening?
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on? Oh my god. Yeah, definitely. That would be funny. But you know what? I think it also, like, when at one stage when a lot of Sense8 fans didn't know whether it's going to be renewed, we were singing that song at the top of our lungs. I guess to Wachowski going, give us season 2.
I wanted to jump into the screen right there.
Yeah.
Dear. So this new cluster thing, it's gonna really, we just have to be patient which is a word that's not in my
Yeah.
vocabulary in the moment.
Especially because they set the bar so high with the cluster we have. You know, it's like I don't want. Who are these newbies? I don't want them in here.
Yeah, go away. We want.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with the fans because, in season 2 they might some of them might end up becoming bad while they introduce new cluster and, what's gonna happen with Will, what's gonna with Jonas and all this past since Sense8. There's a lot of questions. Everyone's gonna, I guess, take a day off or whatnot and just binge watch when season 2 gets released. Well, I know I am.
Yeah.
Guarantee.
Yeah, but no, this new cluster is going to be very interesting. Like all the smithies and all the remelters will hopefully, still stick on to their fan club.
Yeah, and not jump ship, as soon as the new arrivals arrive.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
no,
going to be
I
really
wish they
interesting,
jump
I think.
ship. No, it'll be interesting
Why,
if
so
they
you
jump
can have
ship.
them all to
I'll be
yourself?
yeah. Thank you, Tony. I'll be like encouraging everyone, go, hey, the new guy in the new class is good.
Oh,
Push
that's
him off
right.
the
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah, and then more for whoever's left. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the first rule of piracy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear. So
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
I hope. I wonder if the director and producer are going to, drop some, hints going who's going to be part of the new cluster. Like, we have casted this person or something. You know what I mean? It'll be kind of cool.
A lot of the
Just
other
to-
shows do that too, so it'll be interesting if they do.
Yeah, as long as they don't put anyone that, I dislike. I hope to God not.
Yeah. But that's another thing I loved about the show is like I wasn't too familiar with a lot of the cast when I first started watching, so that kind of helped to give it an air of believability in that sense. So like I really hope they don't get like a household name of clusters. That would totally kind of ruin the whole dynamic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The realism of the representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you guys wishing that one of the Sense8s come from your countries?
Of course. That means I'd be filming here.
Yeah, right? You get a chance at your walk on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd go full stalker.
Yeah.
Tony, I'll come to New Zealand.
Yeah.
You can be
we can stalk together.
You can be like Joaquin.
Yeah.
Martin, if it's Argentina, I'll be happy to, once again. I think that'll be awesome. I think a South American Sense8 would be epic. Yeah. Someone for Lito. Oh my God! Imagine if they pick someone from South America. That'll make Lito question himself, going, Do I switch sides now?
But I don't know. It's kind of hard to. I don't think they'll find a better replacement for Hernando because he's just too cool. Like you can't mess with that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be more repeats of A Stolen Kiss because these lips belong to another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen season 2. What do you guys think? Do you have any predictions?
Anyone want to go?
You go.
Oh, okay. I can do that. But well, aside from hopefully they don't have to keep Will knocked out for the whole season because that would be a real bummer. It's like, hi, Will, or hi, you're awake. Now you're not.
Yeah.
Assuming they don't have to deal with that, I'm interested to see because in this first season we more or less got to see them all get along for the greater good of whatever they're trying to do, but I'm interested to see if some of their interpersonal conflicts or like opposing ideologies will start to surface more now that they get a better chance to know each other, specifically between Will and Wolfgang, just because even though he's not technically a cop anymore, he still has that uphold the law mentality, while Wolfgang is kind of in that gray area of like criminality as well. So it's like I wonder if those opposing ideologies are going to clash at some point.
I think they can feel what each other is feeling though, so maybe Will might understand that, like along the way that Carla can understand what Wolfgang's doing, even though she doesn't like it, she can kind of understand it because of their connection and the feelings that they share. But yeah, that is a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What are
Martin?
your... Oh, yes, go ahead,
Sorry.
Martin.
What are your thoughts or predictions?
Martin?
Oh no, we lost him. Hello?
Did he freeze?
Is he frozen? No, he isn't.
Maybe he's still thinking.
That could be it. Yeah, very, very.
Yeah.
Collecting his thoughts.
You're talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're talking to you.
I was freezing.
So what are your thoughts on season 2? Like, what are your predictions?
Oh, a difficult question. I think it will be very interesting what will have to do with the group, as he is connected now with the other side.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, well, Whispers, like, I have way too many questions, so for me it would be exactly that, what Martin said. Yeah, exactly what Martin said, like, is Whispers gonna use Will? Like, is Will end up being on the bad cluster? Would he have a choice? And Riley, I really want to understand a bit more about Riley. In regards to Carla and Wolfgang, I reckon that's going to be like a friggin' Bollywood movie. It's going to go till up to season 5 or season 6. And in the meantime, I reckon it'll be very interesting if they throw Will in with Carla, because I think there was a picture going around on Twitter with Will and Carla, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that would be interesting. Yeah, that would be cool. Then who's left? Sun needs to break out of the prison, no problem, just throwing a couple of punches here and there. And
Well-placed punches.
And as for Cassius, like you guys said, it would be very interesting if he loses his mom, and he could be turning bad. So yeah. So that should be very interesting.
I think her mother is his support.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, "Who will iron my pants for me?" So poor guy's gonna walk around without pants.
I would go into the world naked.
Yeah, Lito and Cafes can walk around in their underwear.
Yeah. And the lost flip-flop, don't forget.
Yeah.
The flip-flop. I'm so curious to find out how many flip-flops he's received from fans. Going, we found it.
Yeah. And then he turns it over. They have their number on the back.
Yeah.
Bring me.
Yeah.
Like marry me, or bring me, or else I'll stalk you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole flip-flop thing, yep, definitely. We shouldn't forget that one. So season 2, he finds his flip-flop. Lenanda found it for him. Yeah, so a lot of questions.
Maybe Nanda find the flip-flop, and it'll be like a scene from Cinderella, you know. Is this your flip?
Yeah.
Let's test it out. It fits! It fits!
No, they're gonna make it like a Mexican movie, and it won't be that easy. They'll go, oh no, it's one size small. I'm not the right fit for you.
Yeah. And meanwhile, there's like gun thugs around the trying to get Tino El Caído.
Oh dear. But it'll be interesting to see which countries they come from too, because that's another new culture you're learning and how to influence the characters and geez. And does anyone know how many people are going to be part of the new cluster?
Well, there's always 8, I believe.
You reckon?
Yeah, that's my interpretation, I guess, is that there's always 8 people in the cluster.
Yeah, you
could be wrong, but that's.
Yeah. I don't know if I read it somewhere, or I don't know if this is even accurate, but I feel like maybe there might not be, like 8 might not be a mandatory number. I could see it being possible that there could be smaller clusters, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
How that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of being able to film, if it was a smaller cluster, that would be a little easier for all of them to do. It's like, oh, can we have a 2-person cluster? We can film that, no problem. But like another 8, I don't know.
Oh my God, if there's another 8, I think some of us will be so overwhelmed. We're like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? It's like a house.
Yeah. Or it will start to feel like Game of Thrones, where they have to keep cutting different parts of the, because it's like there's so many storylines going on at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be way too much to handle, I reckon, personally. But it'll be interesting if some of the people that we already met along the lines do turn up being either converted into a cluster or are part of cluster and they don't know. Like imagine Amanita or Felix can be like the cafe's equivalent. And Hernando, I have no idea what his skill would be. Cooking.
He's great cooking. Yeah.
Yay, ceviche. I'm going to take down the bad guys with my cooking skills.
Yeah.
I'm going to try ceviche now. So it'll be very interesting. Yeah.
I must admit,
when's it coming out?
Not till July next year, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have.
Sorry,
go
Evan,
ahead. I was just gonna say we did definitely have a long wait between now and then.
Yeah. That's the downside of them releasing the whole season at once, I suppose, is that you binge watch it and you got to wait so long for the next season. Where if you're watching it week by week, the gap doesn't seem as long at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that, because for people like me who don't have the patience, we're gonna lose our minds.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a slow death rather than one swift death. That makes sense.
Draw it out.
Yeah, just draw it out. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Should be very interesting, that's for sure. I'm still gonna stick onto Wolfgang all the way.
Oh.
No.
Well, you've already remelted together, right?
Yes, definitely. Oh dear. The definition's pretty epic.
Yeah. I think
did you guys
season
read
2
it?
for me. Sorry, did we read what?
Did you read the definition for remelter?
I have not, actually.
No. I haven't.
Yeah, I'll tag you guys. You guys gotta read it.
All right.
Oh.
It's one of those things.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Chin chin.
Not safe for live TV, kids.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I'd rather tag you guys and say it because in case, police are looking for evidence or some sort, just saying.
True.
Fair enough.
Tony, you were saying something?
Oh, I was just going to say about like season 2, how when I saw the announcement or the speculation that they were looking at bringing in another cluster, I guess for me, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I think there's so much more to explore with the cluster that we have, and also I think for me, I would like to find out more about Jonas and Angelica's cluster as well, and what's happening there, and who else is in their cluster, as well as obviously, I don't know if you guys have had the discussion about Whispers being in a cluster and whose cluster he might be in, if he's, because obviously he's a Sense8 as well, and is he in Jonas's cluster or is he not? I think I would rather season 2 kind of explore that a little bit as opposed to bringing in another new lot of people, unless, like you say, Evan, it's a smaller cluster. I don't know. That was just my thoughts on it.
I would
really
agree
wish
with that.
Evan's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what do you call? I would rather, instead of introducing an entirely new cluster, maybe kind of split the second season between what's currently happening and flashbacks as well. Because I definitely want to get more into that. Because one of the longest running debates that we've been having in the group and whatnot is there had to have been a point where Whispers was just as wide-eyed and in wonder about his new abilities as all of our main cast is.
Yes.
And it's kind of interesting. It's like, what is it, I wonder, that kind of turned him over the edge and made him work for the other side? What was that turning point or that trigger for him, I wonder?
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was mentioned somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, Tony, I think it was Tony Evan. I think it was mentioned somewhere that, that they're going to explore more about Whispers in season 2. So, yeah, I read that somewhere. Can't remember where, but yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
And what's he looking for, no? Because we don't know what he wants to do with the cluster, why he wants to eliminate all of them.
Yeah, exactly. Martin's right. Yeah.
And not even that.
It's a little bit
on
selfish.
Top of that. Yeah, a lot of it, actually. Yeah. But it's like, it gets me wondering about what the end game is. It's like, does he want to be like the supreme only Sense8 left in the entire world?
Yeah.
So he kind of, but the irony of that, though, let's say he does that, and he's like some super-powered Sense8 just because there's no other ones there. He can't access the abilities that make them powerful if there's nobody there, if he killed them all. So
that's
it's
right.
like, what are you going to do? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what if Jonas is not really good?
That's definitely a possibility.
And they do toy with that backwards and forwards.
Yeah, I think at one stage, I think Yersei, God, I cannot pronounce her name. She mentions going, "Oh, is Jonas around?" And then Riley goes, "Yes," or something. And then she's just like, he can't be trusted or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just go, who can we trust?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for all we know, with all this back and forth, maybe Whispers is the one that they can trust. Who knows?
Yeah.
God, yeah.
That'd be a twist, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be a twist of epic proportions.
That would throw so many people off. Then again, this whole show has been pretty much, keeping you, on your edge, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think GMS mentioned in his tweet that, the whole intention of the first 3 episodes is just to, mess people's minds up. So I wonder how season 2 is going to start. Is it going to start the same way? I reckon probably yes.
I'd like them to
And
mess with
he's
my mind some more.
Yeah. Make me
By
say,
all-
what's going on?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what you're doing, but I like it.
Yeah.
continue that way.
Yeah, exactly. Martin
You're going the right
understands.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said that season 2 will answer the questions that we are asking now.
All
Yeah.
of them, Martin? All of them?
I don't think all of them, but well, some.
But and another thing I find funny too with all these theories that are speculating, we may have already touched on all the writing for the 5 seasons and we just haven't realized it yet because we've gone pretty in depth on social media and all the groups and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's all there.
Oh yeah, I would,
It's just
I
a
would
matter of
I would predict season 5. Carla and Wolfgang finally kiss. Oh wait, they did already twice. Okay, my bad.
Maybe
Wow,
they
so
have kids.
maybe this is a shorter version of a Bollywood movie. If they kissed already, that's pretty impressive for season 1. So
They're ahead of schedule.
yeah.
All right.
Oh dear.
But all right, I'd say that about does it. Concludes the broadcast for today. We've covered some pretty awesome topics, and once again, I want to thank you guys for joining me today, and hopefully we'll see some of you next week. And for anyone that that's missed this, you can catch it live on the YouTube channel. And remember, you are no longer just you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody
See
say
ya.
bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.